Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to present to you the release notes of Boyum IT's Beas Manufacturing 2020.08. We're going to start out with the highlights and then outline the new features and improvements of the fresh release. Stay with me and get familiar with all that the new release has to offer. Before going into details, let's go through the highlights. In the production area we have added a new functionality, stock transfer requests for work orders. For desktop or web terminal users, we made the instructions field visible, added WMS bin support in the collective receipt window, and established validation of the stock transfer created from SAP. We have enhanced the web product configurator, including a better login protection, more filters, and many more. In the MRP area, we now display additional information for MRP minimum inventory by warehouse in the inflow-outflow window section. For our web terminal, we added access to attach documents via a shared folder, and now we can attach images or documents in the QC data collection apps. In the quality control area, we added support to say the log for modifications in the complete QC orders. System-wise, Beas now supports SQL Server 2019 and supports the setting of UDFs in a list form. We are also releasing several improvements of the software in the Precalculation area, batch setting, WMS support and serials, and a number of translation corrections. The new work order stock transfer request functionality allows a production user to request partial or total quantities for production location. By selecting one or more work orders, the user will be able to call up the stock transfer request function on an interface similar to the material issue window. The instructions dialog window is now available in both the desktop and the web terminals. The related apps in the desktop terminal are Work Order Login and Pool Report, and Work Order Start in Web Terminal 2.0. We have added SAP and WMS bin management support in the collective receipt window. In the past, only Beas bin management was supported. The new release includes validation of the stock transfer created from SAP, especially when it comes from a work order request and considering reservation system. When the reservation is activated, the system checks automatically if the stock transfer request is created for a work order material position. In this case, the system should consider updating the current reservation or creating a new one according to the new location, batches, or serials finally selected in the stock transfer. Starting with this version, you can filter products with a specific property number checked to be displayed in the product list to add to the cart or configure. In this way, you can control which products appear in the web and hide all others not available to be displayed to the customers. We added login protection. If the user tries to log in 3 times with the wrong password, the system locks the user for 2 hours. This prevents a bot to try to brute force attack based on dictionary. We added configurable filters to the list of products in the app setup. Now you have the option to display non-configurable products, to filter by item group, to filter from property X to Y, or make visible only if a defined property number is activated. We fixed problems when adding more than a configurable product with dynamic names. Also, now the web configurator uses the right currency. Sales order creation now is made using the right currency. The sales order viewer now displays the currencies in the same way as in SAP. And on the cart, delivery time is adjusted to be the greatest delivery time considering product lead time. As a new functionality, the MRP calculation can now display an alert for items where the total minimum stock status is positive, but at least one of the warehouses under minimum stock. For this, you need to activate the new Notify of Minimum Inventory per Warehouse parameter in the MRP wizard. Then, right-click the column header in the order recommendation to activate or delete the inventory warning filter. Please note that this function only applies if the item is set as inventory by warehouse. For this functionality, we have added a new tab in the order recommendation window named By Warehouse. The purpose of the tab is to check status of each warehouse and see minimum stock levels. This tab is only visible for items set as inventory by warehouse in the item master data. Information displayed here can be accessed also when parameter Notify of Minimum Inventory per Warehouse is not active. The displayed information is identical to inventory data by warehouse section in the item master data. Please note the information displayed in the tab corresponds to the real-time data and not the MRP calculation. Please also check our demonstration video on this topic. This new feature allows to get the list of documents linked with an item from SAP, Beas Pictures and Beas Documents at the same time. You may need a proper viewer on your device to open the document, especially if you're using a mobile device. Please note that for security reasons, only files in the paths used by SAP to save the documents are allowed to load documents from the web apps. With this new functionality, you can upload files to the QC orders from web apps QC Transfer, QC by Sample, and QC by Test. While the file is being transferred, a progress bar on the left side of the upload button appears. Some additional time is still required by Beas to process the file, store and create the entry in the attachments for the QC order. After the file is uploaded and processed, if the file is a picture, we display it as a preview, and for other formats we display a green checkmark with the uploaded file name. We have added support to save a log for modifications in the complete quality control orders. In the QC order, only the log information of changes made in the current window were available in the past. For example, in input per sample, activity log showed only the changes made in the current sample. In the measurement window, only the changes of the current measurement line were shown. Now we can see all changes related to the QC order. Beas is now compatible with SQL Server 2019. Please note that this is also supported from SAP Business One version 10 PL02. This means that this SQL Server version is not compatible with previous SAP Business One versions and Beas versions. As of this version, we support UDF setting in a list form. In the configuration wizard, it is possible to define up to 4 UDFs for different tables, for example, item parameter. For every UDF, you can access extended settings. In the past, Beas checked the extended settings only in the edit window, but not in lists, for example in item parameters. Now the system supports the following properties with higher priority than in window settings: bold, italic, format, tooltip, drop-down and cross-reference in all windows which support window settings. All other properties are not supported in list forms. In Precalculation, Beas displayed the value of the material quantity field multiplied with view per. All other fields were ignored. From this version, it displays the calculated total quantity based on the calculation rules and view settings. This new version includes several improvements in the collective receipt window and web apps related with batches and serial numbers. Now the collective receipt and web apps consider a unique batches setting. In this case, the system allows every batch only once. The function also considers the parameter behavior if finished part has no price here, only for assembly items and not for negative BOM. Also, the system supports WMS default bin warehouse and serial number reservation in the collective receipt window. We have also improved the serial number field. Now you can insert more than one serial number separated by a comma and use a counter. We have reviewed the batches to be verified window. The following improvements have been made. The shelf life button now checks only the expiry date and not the production date. It does not create a QC order. This is part of button Create QC order. And it changes only status of all related batches from released to not accessible. The Create QC order button can now create a QC order for all batches with the flag OK in the list. The new button is only available if no QC order exists. It only allows to create a QC order manually and only for marked entries, and you can define all properties manually. The Edit button is only available in case of existing QC orders. The OK column has the flag active if it is possible to create a QC order automatically. Activate this if you want to create a QC order with the button Create QC order. It is not possible to activate this if QC order exists or no QC inspection plan exists. Activate all rows with a right click on the title. In the Batch column, you can now see visual representation based on color. Items without QC inspection plan appear in red. Items with existing QC order appear in green, and items with linked QC inspection plan, locked batch but no QC order appear in black. In addition to this improvement, we have performed a number of minor corrections. In manual transfer, we now fully support WMS RFID and LUID. Before, in the transfer process, the system displayed only one RFID for both warehouses. Now, 2 RFID fields are available. One for from warehouse if RFID is supported, and another one for to warehouse if RFID is supported. If this is the WMS managed warehouse, the system displays the LUID. It is possible to leave the field empty, which means automatic mode. You can also choose UID from the currently active UID for chosen bin location and item, or insert it manually. The system checks the UID while creating a document. With the new Beas release, window settings are available for the All Serial Numbers window. In the past, no window settings function was available. Now the function window settings and template administration are both available in this window. As minor improvements, we can mention our translation corrections in various Beas windows. In the Enter Counting window, we replaced the button named Changing History with Changelog. In Reports, the German spelled tab named Macros has been replaced with Reports. In the Scheduling tab of the Resource Master, we corrected the field name showing the count of machines per person and changed the naming acceptor to recipient in the Event Edit window. In this final slide of our presentation, you can see our planned releases for 2020. The release titles are derived from the respective months they are made available. In quarter 3, we are now releasing version 2020.08 in the middle of August and are planning to come out with a new release at the end of September. As the flowchart indicates here, we're planning to come out with a fresh release in every 1.5 months until the end of the year. Please note that this current state of planning may be changed by Boyum IT Solutions at any time. This concludes our video on the new features, existing feature and system improvements and fixes of Boyum IT's Beas Manufacturing 2020.08. We encourage you to upgrade to this latest version of our solution and keep in touch concerning any questions you might have. Please visit our community on the link below and stay tuned for our upcoming videos.